Hello guys and welcome back. Thank you so much again for joining me for part 3 of exploring LA icons. Now let's get to it. The first icon we encountered today was none other than Pershing Square. The 5 acres that make up this small park are originally Pueblo lands, and the ownership could be tracked all the way back to 1781. It wasn't until 1866 that Spain granted them to the city of Los Angeles. And this little land that was granted became a public park, firstly known as Plaza Abaja. Now, jumping to World War I, the square was actually used as a forum for public speakers and military receptions. And it wasn't until November 1918 that La Plaza Baja was now named Pershing Square in honor of the General John J. Pershing. And also around Christmas time, they install an ice skating rink in this area. And as well as throughout the year too, there'll be different kinds of small little events here as well. Our next icon is just right across the street from here, and this icon is the Biltmore Hotel. And this gorgeous hotel opened its doors on October 1st, 1923. It was one of the several developed by the nationwide Bowman Biltmore hotel chains at the time. It was the largest hotel west of the Chicago, but during the Great Depression era, this hotel was actually sold to a nightclub owner in 1933 to Baron Long. And what put this hotel on the map was not just its beautiful decoration and architecture, it was also a site for several notable film shootings. And it also actually hosted Academy Award venues 8 times between 1932 and 1942, during which the Academy Awards was first an intimate dinner, which eventually became the public event we know today. I have the long list of the many guests that stayed here at this hotel, 2 of which were some interesting ones, which were Al Capone as well as President Franklin D. Roosevelt. And of course, with the hotel like this being open for so long, it eventually picked up a mystery or two. One of the most famous mysteries was the disappearance and murder of Elizabeth Short, or better known as Black Dahlia. And she was last seen alive on January 9th, 1947, at 10 p.m. where the bell captain opened the door for Elizabeth and she exited the hotel alone, walking south down into the fog. She was found 6 days later on January 15th, 1947, but sadly she had passed, and it was a terrible scene. This case still remains one of the most mysterious and heartbreaking cold cases in history. And many guests would say that they see a pale woman with dark hair wearing sheer black or gray 1940 style dress, entering and leaving rooms on the 10th and 11th floor, and also sometimes wandering the halls. But what do you guys think? Is it true or false? I'm not much of a believer in stories. Well, sometimes. Our next icon is located northeast of Pershing Square, and it is the Angel Flight. And this little train is actually the world's shortest incorporated railway that travels at a 33% incline with a distance of 315 feet. And this railway was built in 1901 by a lawyer/engineer named Colin J.W. Eddy, who was actually a friend of none other than President Abraham Lincoln. And directly across the street from Angel Flights is Grand Central Market. And this amazing marketplace has been around since 1917. This is easily one of downtown's oldest commercial structures. And crazy enough, this is actually LA's first fireproof building and steel reinforced structure. And in 1905, a second structure was built to extend the original building through Hill Street. But for anyone with an exquisite taste or interest in trying new foods, I recommend that this be a spot to stop at, because there's probably one of any kind of food out here. And it's even cool to even walk by too, because you see a bunch of neon signs as well. 0.9 miles away is our next iconic location, the Block. In the 1970s, it was known as the Mall of Downtown Los Angeles. It was then enclosed and renamed the Broadway Plaza. And at the time, the Broadway Plaza was a very popular shopping destination for many years, until the 1990s. Thanks to growing competition with other malls, and as well as the economical downturn of the area, it was mainly vacant during the 2000s. But in 2013, the Radovic company invested $160 million to make it to the location we know today as the Block. And not too far away from the Block is another cool location called, well, I call it the Underground Target. But this area's official name is called the Fig at 7th. And this area has 4 layers, the bottom being a gym, little stores, and food shops, and the second layer being the main Target and other shops nearby. Third layer being a store, and I believe another fashion store, and the fourth being a chill out spot with benches. Our next icon is none other than the Santee Alleys, or the Alleys, or Los Callejones for in Spanish. And this Bargain Hunter's Paradise is an actual alley lined with over 150 stores selling apparel, accessories for the entire family, and so much more, as well as electronics, toys, accessories, handbags, luxury goods, and more. And it's kind of cool because this marketplace feels like you're shopping around the world because you'll encounter different shops and different vendors of various cultures and backgrounds, offering products from also your home countries or from different areas around the world. And how can you have an outdoor swap meet without food? And there's plenty of food around here too. From delicious mouth-watering tacos to elotes, aguas frescas, hot dogs wrapped with bacon, and so much more. And just like the other many icons, this is actually a pretty popular film location for TV shows, movies, music videos. And the most recent movie that I've seen that had a scene filmed in the alleys was Birds of Prey, when Harley Quinn was getting chased by, I think, that detective chick. It's not just a good place too for individual items, you can actually buy a lot of wholesale stuff too, and it's at really, really great prices too. Not to mention too, these people will definitely give you a bargain if you work with them and if you're nice. And this wonderful marketplace came about in the 1970s and 80s when many immigrants opened up shops during the wake of the 1979 Iraqi Revolution. It first started operating from the back door of wholesale business markets, where the original retailers would just open business for 1 or 2 days out of the week, until eventually it grew to the alleys we know today. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I appreciate you guys watching. Please leave a like and a comment. It really helps me out. Thank you for all you who subscribed. And stay tuned to see what other beautiful sites I visited in my trip in California. Until next time, be safe, take care out there, and have a nice day, guys.